Happy New Year. It's 2024. MJF has been removed from the roster. We're going to talk about this plus so much more. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100K, so go ahead and click subscribe for a chance to win. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I want to kick things off with Mercedes Mone. This past weekend, there were some reports that dropped that Mercedes and WWE had fallen through with their talks for her to join the company. This was obviously reported by multiple sources. Fightful, Dave Meltzer, several more have come out and discussed this topic at large. Obviously, it's creating a very big conversation on social media, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think this genuinely means. First things first, Sasha did not show up at AEW World's End. Doesn't mean she won't show up in AEW, but it just means that she hasn't shown up thus far. The second thing that you need to understand is that with WWE is currently in a new phase. It's a new era for the company. They are trying to limit what leaks, and they're trying to, I think at the end of the day, WWE, if they want it out there, somebody's going to leak it. And if they want to, swerve people or whatever, you're going to see reports like this. Now, I'm not saying these guys are right. I'm not saying they're wrong. This is a very much wait and see approach that you have to have with this particular scenario. But when it comes to Mercedes, I think she has put herself in a very prime position when it comes to contract negotiations. I know Boozer Wrestling has come out and said that WWE loves her. There's no issue. It's just a matter of coming to an agreement, and they have yet to come to an agreement. So when I see this, I'm intrigued for two reasons. One, there's some rumors, there's some chit-chatter on social media that maybe Mercedes wants Charlotte Flair money. We don't know what that number is. The rumor number is about $5 million per year. Is that accurate, inaccurate? I don't really know. But what I would say is Mercedes knows that at the end of the day, she's going to have what she's looking for. There's going to be a list of what she's looking for. Money's probably a big part of it. Maybe some creative freedom to do things outside of wrestling. Obviously, that could play a potential part in this. When I look at Sasha Banks, Mercedes Mone, she could go to AEW and get paid. She could go to WWE and get paid. And for those who don't think TNA can do it, TNA reportedly offered 7 figures for Will Ospreay as well as CM Punk. So it's not completely out of the realm to believe that Mercedes could show up in TNA. Now, the reality is this. If Mercedes comes to WWE, there's things that she could do in WWE. If she goes into AEW, she's pretty much going to be the one that's there to help build that women's division. And then if she goes to TNA, she's doing more than building a division. Like the TNA booking for the women have always been a good thing pretty much forever. But for her to go to TNA, she's going to be helping by building the company. So there's a little bit more responsibility in that regard. But the fact that there's these options now, I think that's fantastic. I know there has been some talk that maybe Mercedes in WWE, this could all be a swerve, that WWE wants you to think that she's not showing up, just like the CM Punk thing. And if that's the case, if that's what WWE is doing here, fair play to them. I'm very curious to see how this goes down. But I think either company, it doesn't matter what company it is, I think they're going to be very happy and very lucky to have Mercedes perform for them. Guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about Andrade. I thought this was some very interesting stuff. We know that Andrade lost to Miro at AEW World's End. We know that there were some rumors that Andrade was not signing with AEW again. And then what's even more fascinating here is that Tony Khan basically came out and said, they're not re-signing him, right? They're not coming to a new agreement. PW Insider has come out with a new report that confirmed that the expectation internally is that Andrade will be back today for WWE Monday Night Raw at day 1. It was also noted that Andrade was advertised for at least one more GCW show this year. However, he's been pulled from those ads. That right there pretty much signifies that he's going to be WWE bound. Now, here's the question. WWE is promoting a huge return, a former champion. But is it Andrade? There's a lot of rumors that it could be more than just Andrade, and that WWE is looking at utilizing day 1 as a way to kind of kick off this new era. Keep in mind Kevin Dunn's no longer in the company. Keep in mind you're bringing in Andrade. There's a lot of things that could be done here with the WWE. I'm very intrigued to see how they go about this. I'll be honest with you. I'm a huge fan of Andrade. I feel like Vince McMahon did not do what he should with him, and unfortunately, Tony Khan didn't either. Thankfully, Triple H has a great track record with the way that he booked Andrade. So I'm hoping that this is potentially going to be the next thing, with Triple H taking over. Hopefully they actually do something with him. But when it comes to him going back to WWE, I fully support it. I've been saying this for a while. I feel like Miro, Andrade, and Malachi Black have all been booked pretty erroneously. And because of that, it's important for me to maintain this. Like, yes, it's fantastic. These guys and girls can go to AEW and get paid, but it doesn't always necessarily mean your career is going to be better in AEW. For some wrestlers, that is the case. For some wrestlers, that is not the case. So you have to keep that in mind. But as far as Andrade goes, he's a hell of a talent. I look forward to seeing what he does regardless. I'm excited about it. Andrade at day one could be really fun. And that brings us to MJF, guys. I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, literally, it's 2024, and AEW made it really clear that MJF is not listed as a member of their roster on the website. So if you go to AEW.com and you go to the roster section, MJF is no longer listed. Look, I've been very adamant about this. I believe MJF re-signed. I do. I believe MJF has re-signed with AEW a while ago. I believe that this is part of the storyline. And I think, realistically, AEW has to be careful here. I think a lot of people believe MJF has re-signed. So if AEW kind of wants to play with people's intelligence and make them feel stupid, knowing that, he actually did re-sign, making it a storyline could garner a negative reaction. But I did talk about this on my live stream for the prediction show or whatever. Me and Billy were talking about this, and I said, listen, I think one great thing that they can do, if you're going to play into the free agency thing, then make it look like MJF is working in AEW without a contract for a couple months. Build up a storyline between him and Adam Cole and the Devils and all this stuff. Build it up and make it look like he's actually working without a contract, even though we know, let's just say, he's re-signed. So for me, I think there could be a little bit of intrigue in that. I think there could be a lot of directions that they can go with this. I think the problem is if he actually is a free agent and he doesn't actually re-sign with AEW, I don't think it's a good look for AEW, obviously. Losing MJF would be massive. But I fully believe he's been re-signed for a long time, and I don't see him going to WWE anytime soon. And to be honest with you, at today's day, like looking at it from the perspective of what's happening on television, I don't think WWE needs MJF. I think, personally speaking, it makes more sense for him to be in AEW. But that's just based on the way it is currently with the rosters and everything. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think he's actually been removed? I can't wait to hear. Let me know. Drop a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.